Welcome back student in basic chemistry course. Today's session is the continuation of our previous video. So let's start. So in previous video we discussed about the types of valency and we already discussed the two types of valencies, that is electrovalency and the covalency. So electrovalency or the ionic bond is formed when the atoms can lose their electrons and another atom can gain their electron, then that times ionic bond is formed in between them. Okay, and the covalent bond or the covalence is seen when the mutual sharing of electrons will be carried out in between the atoms, then that times covalent bonds are formed. And we also discuss how the ionic bonds are formed and how the covalent bonds are formed. Okay, so in today's session we discuss the third type of valency is the coordinate valency, or which is also called as the coordinate bond. So let's see the definition of coordinate bond. The coordinate bond is one of the type of covalent bond in which the only one atoms, we all know the bond is formed between the two atoms. For example, these two atoms, the bond is formed. So in these two atoms, only one atom can share their electron with other atom. This only, for example, this X atom, only this X atom can share their electron with the Y atom, and Y atom which do not contribute their electrons for the formation of bonding. So then that times the covalent bond can be formed. Okay, so the definition of the coordinate bond is, it is the covalent bond in which the only one atom can share their electron and other atom can accept their sharing without contribution of electron, then that times the bond is formed in between the atoms. This bond is called as the coordinate bond or the coordinate valency, or this bond will be also called as the dative bond. Coordinate bond will be, another name is dative bond, and this bond will be denoted by an arrow. This bond will be denoted by arrow. Okay, let's see the examples. So first example we take for the ammonia molecule. That ammonia molecule, nitrogen is present, and the nitrogen having atomic number is 7 and their electronic configuration is 2 5. So that's why the nitrogen atom having outermost shell contains 5 electrons. So we write this outermost shell containing valence electrons on the dot. These 5 electrons in nitrogen atom will be represented by dot, and the 3, so this nitrogen atom which requires 3 more electrons to complete its octet. Okay, so that's why this nitrogen can require more 3 electrons from other atom and complete their octet. So that's why nitrogen atom can share their electron with the nitrogen atom. So the hydrogen containing electrons will be represented by the cross sign. Okay, then that times the bond is formed. This is the, so on that manner the nitrogen atom can complete their octet when the 3 hydrogen atom can attach with the nitrogen atom. Okay, so the nitrogen atom containing electrons are now 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8. So the nitrogen atom having complete their octet when 3 hydrogen atom can combine with there. Okay, but this nitrogen having presence of 2 electrons, nitrogen having presence of 2 electrons, these 2 electrons cannot participate with the chemical bonding with other atom. So that's why these electrons will be called as the lone pair of electrons. So that's why these electrons will be called as the lone pair of electrons. So these electrons are the lone pair of electrons. Okay, because these electrons will be present in the valence shell of nitrogen atom, but they cannot participate in chemical bonding. So that's why they will be called as the lone pair of electrons. Okay, so the another atom is the boron. So the boron having atomic number is 5. So that's why boron having electronic configuration is 2 3. Okay, so the boron having outermost shell contains 3 electrons. So they require more 5 electrons to complete its octet. Okay, so the boron having outermost shell containing 3 electrons, we write here on the dot Okay, these 3 electrons will be present in the boron atom. Okay, we will represent here. So this boron atom, which requires more 5 electrons to complete its octet. Okay, so these 3 electrons can share their 1 electrons with the 3 fluorine atoms. We can share their electrons with fluorine atom. So fluorine atom having atomic number is 9. So their electronic configuration is 2, 7. So this fluorine atom can require 1 more electrons to complete its octet. So that's why this fluorine can share their outermost shell containing 7 electrons, outermost shell containing 7 electrons containing 1 electron with 1 electron of boron atom. Okay, so they can represent here. So on that manner, the boron can try to complete its octet. So that's why boron containing 3 electrons can share their 1 electrons with the fluorine atom containing 1 electron, and this type of molecules will be formed. Okay, but when the boron can bonded with the fluorine atom, they can also do not complete their octet, because this boron which contains how many electrons is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. They also requires 2 more electrons to complete its octet, boron atom. So that's why the nitrogen having presence of 2 non-bonding electrons, so these electrons can accept the boron easily. So and nitrogen can donate their electrons to the boron atom. So that's why nitrogen is the donor. Nitrogen will be called as the donor, and boron atom can accept their nitrogen containing non-bonded electrons. So that's why boron is the acceptor. Boron will be the acceptor. So those elements which can donate their electrons, they will be called as a donor, and those elements can accept the electrons, they will be called as the acceptor. So let's write the structure in simplified way. So this is the ammonia molecule, and nitrogen can share their lone pair of electrons with the boron atom. Okay, boron trifluoride. So structure will be look like this, when the nitrogen can share their lone pair with the boron atom. So in that structure or in that examples, nitrogen can only share their electrons. Boron do not contribute their any electrons. So that's why in between these two elements, coordinate bond is formed. This bond is the coordinate bond, or it is also called as the dative bond. This bond will be also called as the dative bond, and coordinate bond will be denoted by the arrow. The arrow means this nitrogen will be donate their electron to the boron atom. So that's why their direction will be like this, means donor to acceptor. Okay, let's see the another example. Second example we take is also the ammonium ion formation. So in this structure, again we take the nitrogen. Nitrogen having outermost shell contains 5 electrons. So we write there outermost shell containing electrons by the dot, and for completing their octet, nitrogen can share their 3 electrons with the 3 hydrogen atoms. These are the hydrogen atoms, can share their 1 electrons with the nitrogen atom and complete their octet, but also the nitrogen having presence of lone pair of electrons. So that's why this is the another hydrogen atom will be electropositive in nature. They having a presence of 1 electron. For completing its octet of hydrogen atom, they require 2 electrons. So that's why the hydrogen can accept the electrons from the nitrogen atom, and the structure look like hydrogen can accept the lone pair of electrons from the nitrogen atom, and the coordinate bond is formed in between these, and the positive charge will be represented here. Okay, though the ammonium ions can form, and in between this nitrogen and hydrogen, coordinate bond or dative bond is formed. Okay. Let's see the third example of the coordinate bond formation. So, is the sulfur trioxide molecule, that is the molecular formula of sulfur trioxide is SO3. So, in this SO3, there is having presence of sulfur atom and 3 oxygen atoms. So, we write here. So, the sulfur atom having atomic number is 16. So, their sulfur atom having electronic configuration is 286. So, sulfur atom having outermost shell contains 6 electrons. They requires 2 electrons to complete its octet. So, write their valence shell containing electrons here. So, these are the valence electrons present in sulfur atom. We represent by dot, and oxygen atom having atomic number is 8. So, their electronic configuration is 6 to 6. So, their oxygen having outermost shell contains 6 electrons. They also requires 2 more electrons to complete its octet. So, that's why we write their outermost shell containing electrons by the cross sign. Okay, so the sulfur atom which requires 2 electrons to complete its octet. So that's why this sulfur atom can mutually share their 2 electrons with the one oxygen atom containing 2 electrons and form the double covalent bond in between this oxygen and sulfur atom. So for this sharing, the sulfur atom and oxygen atom, this sulfur and oxygen atom can complete their octet. Okay. So for after completing their octet, sulfur atom also having presence of 2 pairs of electrons. They are non-bonded electrons. They do not participate in chemical bonding. So that's why these 2 electrons are the lone pair of electrons present on the sulfur atom. So sulfur atom having presence of 2 lone pair of electrons. So that's why the sulfur for completing the octet of 2 oxygen atom, sulfur can share their one lone pair of electron with one oxygen atom and another lone pair of electrons with another oxygen atom. So in that structure, the sulfur is the donor. Sulfur is the donor because they can donate their lone pair of electrons. Okay, and this oxygen can accept these lone pair of electrons. So that's why they can accept this another oxygen. They will be also the acceptor because they can accept the electrons from the sulfur atom. Okay, so the structure or the coordinate bond formation will be right here. So this on that manner the sulfur trioxide molecule will be produced, and the 2 separate dative bonds or the 2 separate coordinate bonds are formed here. Okay, so this is the third example we explained for the formation of coordinate bonds. Okay, another also different examples we can shown, that is the hydronium ion formation. Okay, sulfur dioxide molecule formation. So the next part of this unit is the characteristics of coordinate. Next part we see here is characteristics of coordinate bond. So let's discuss these characteristics one by one. So first characteristics of coordinate bond is the coordinate bonds are directional in nature. We already discussed the coordinate bond or dative bond is represented by an arrow. That means the electrons can be transferred from donor to acceptor. So that's why they will be directional in nature. Second characteristics is the coordinate bonds having a higher melting point than covalent compound but a lower melting point than ionic compound. So ionic compounds which shows the strong, it will be formed by strong intermolecular force of attraction. So that's why their melting point is very high than covalent compound. So that's why the coordinate compound having melting point will be higher than covalent compound but lower than ionic compound. Okay. Next characteristics is these coordinate compounds are stable. These compounds are stable in nature because they can complete their octet. Okay. So that's why they are stable and like the covalent compounds. So the covalent compounds will be also stable. On that type of covalent compounds, these coordinate compounds will be also stable in nature. Next, four characteristics of coordinate compound is these compounds are soluble in organic solvent but insoluble in water. So the coordinate compounds are polar covalent compound. So that's why they will be soluble in organic solvent but insoluble in water. Okay. Only the ionic compounds will be soluble in water. Next, fifth characteristics is these compounds do not dissociate when placed in water. So they will be insoluble in water, so that's why they do not dissociate also in water. So last characteristics of the coordinate compound is they will do not dissociate when placed in water. Okay, so today we stop here. In next session we discuss the metallic bond. Thank you.